This is Celebrity Scoop
on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
All right, it's ready by Taquerías Arandas. And, there are a lot of different phrases that the kids are saying these days that make absolutely no sense. One of them is Skibidi toilet. Skibidi
What is the origin
toilet.
of Skibidi toilet?
All right, it started with an 11-second YouTube video of a man's head sticking out of a toilet and singing. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's turned into a viral movement.
But what year did that first happen? Because it's been a couple of years.
I feel like it's within the last year.
Mm-hmm. Probably last year and a half.
Maybe last year and a half. Since it has turned into an entire franchise with hundreds of videos of kids or people saying it. In a nutshell, it is about so Michael Bay, tell your kids he's the guy who did the Transformers movies. Michael Bay is running on this, and he is going to make a movie about Skibidi toilet. The movie, what is it about? I don't know.
It's going to be animated.
They say
CGI.
It's about a race of singing toilet men who are at war with humanoids who have TVs, cameras, and speakers for heads.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know.
It said that it came out, Skibidi Toilet, it came out, the first episode, I guess it's a TV show, is where the word came from. It came out February 7, 2023.
So
There's
2 years.
over 26 seasons and 28 episodes. If you type in Skibidi Toilet, it's an animation show. And so I'm wondering if kids watch this animated show, and that's where they got the term from and start using it.
Like
now I feel like I sound like old. I'm wondering if the kids.
I know, we're the kids.
It's crazy.
Because we're talking about real kids, like 10-year-olds. We're not talking about like the kids and their 20, like 10-year-olds.
You're old, Sam. You're 32.
I know. It's this guy's head coming out of the toilet, but it says it's an animated show. There's 26 seasons.
What was the original
How
meaning
can it be
of
26
Skibidi?
seasons if it just started in 23?
Well, look at The Voice.
There's one episode
There's like
a
32
season?
seasons of The Voice.
I mean,
and it's barely
South Park.
just
Look at South Park.
Maybe they're
they
like
have,
a minute each or something.
Yeah, there's no way you can have 26 seasons within a year and a half unless you're counting like 2
seasons or
episodes a
episodes?
season.
maybe every 3 months they do a...
This is what it says. I swear to God. I just Googled
That's
it, and it just said
crazy.
number of episodes, 78. Number of seasons, 26.
That's nuts.
First
doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make
episode
sense.
date is
Just like the
February
phrase doesn't
7th,
make sense.
2023.
So 2 episodes a season.
The phrase doesn't
feel
make
like
sense.
I'm-
Features animated toilets with talking heads, a.k.a. Skibidi Toilet, trying to take over the world.
Good times.
And then there's camera heads.
okay.
Michael Bay's rich. Why does he do this crap?
Because he
'Cause
just
they always
is
wanna be
bored.
richer.
Maybe he needs something to do with his money.
But this, by the time it gets done,
Appeal-
Skibidi Toilet is over.
Right, because the 12-year-olds or the 10-year-olds or the 8-year-olds that are saying it are going to be like, oh, I don't care.
You should just
Yeah.
direct the Kool-Aid movie.
Yeah.
Right, Kev?
What's that show
The
called on
episodes
Apple
are a
TV?
minute
The
long.
studio?
The Studio
Again?
with Seth
Episodes
Rogen.
are a minute long.
Oh,
If you go on YouTube.
That's not even real.
But this
Okay.
one has 57 million views.
Yeah, it's all
Oh, Lord.
Episode 1, season 1.
I saw something, maybe Irvin would even know. It was what something we did. It was a true crime, I think, video on TikTok. It had like 27 million views.
Oh, wow. That's
amazing.
cool.
Can I, speaking of like viral things,
Like what?
I don't post my kids on my Instagram if I can help it.
No.
And
that's
last
smart.
night I had to because there is a little boy that my family keeps getting bombarded with these videos of this little
You
boy.
showed me one time, and now he's popping
And you
up.
thought it was him, right?
He's popping up on mine.
My
Like
son
he showed up on
MJ
yours?
Yes.
absolutely has my father's cheeks. One of the best things about my dad, Papa Love, that I love to go to Christie's after the show to see my family. I would pinch my dad's cheeks, and I had no shame. I was like, "Oh my God, Dad, I love your cheeks."
Yeah, you used to do that.
My dad passed away almost a year to the death anniversary. I have a son. My son has got the cheeks. There's a little boy in New York who has the cheeks, and people were sending me all these Instagram videos of this kid with his New York accent, and he just now, like his parents
Just play real
just
quick
now
on
put
your
him on
phone.
Instagram.
I know it's on your phone, but just to hear
because
this guy. It's like a 12-year-old kid, but he sounds like a 30-year-old.
He's like a Long Island New Yorker.
Long Island or Bronx or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so this kid's name is Tony Cash, I guess they're calling him.
Hey, Tony Cash.
And
He's not the Rizzler.
no, but he's friends with him apparently.
Yeah, the Rizzler and him are buddies.
And can you put up Tony Cash on your phone? I'll put MJ on mine because that's how we're
see.
gonna have to
Just
go
put the video
real
you sent
bare
me?
bones here. Because the kid is like, I was at this coffee shop. It's not coffee, it's coffee. And so his cheeks are real big, and the angle is in his room, and people are like, "Oh my God, this looks just like MJ." So last night, my son made a rebuttal video to Tony. To what's his name?
my
Tony
gosh.
Cash.
This is the
Tony
kid, right?
Cash.
Okay, this is the kid.
I was on an airplane going to Italy, and we came across a little problem. So, here's how we fixed it. My brother's on the left, random guys on the right, And we're in Comfort Plus, by the way. How you doing?
How you doing?
I was just exhausted by the time change. So the guy was taking up all the space, and I'm in there like stuck. And I'm moving around trying to get comfy, and the guy goes, "Could you stop moving?" I said, "Guy, you're taking up all the freaking space. How could I stop moving? I'm trying to get comfortable, and you're taking up all the space."
So
the guy never talked to me again after that,
Oh
because he knew I was right.
This is like, he does his little shorts.
He looks like your son.
And he
He
looks like my son.
definitely does.
So last night I had my son record. I tagged Tony Cash because I said we are being bombarded with these videos of this kid. He's Italian, and he talks about his nonna, which is like grandma.
I was exhausted.
How am I
It's the
going to
little
start
kid, though.
this?
It's just hilarious to see this.
So here's my son's rebuttal. We have to go old school by putting our phones up to the mics.
Okay.
Yo, guys, everybody keeps telling me that I look like Tony Cash from Instagram, and they also say that we have a lot in common. We don't. Here's a list of things we don't have in common. 1, I'm 10 and he's 12. 2, he's from New York and I'm from Texas. 3, he's Italian, I'm Greek. 4, he has a nonna and I have a yaya. We don't have a lot of things in common. There you go, bam, that's a list. Bye.
But he looks just like
Forget about
him.
it. Yeah, he does.
So
I wonder if you'll
follow
get
me
a
at
response.
I know, I wonder, because I tagged Tony Cash, NYC. And if you want to see it, that video, go to @Radio Roula, because I cannot tell
funny.
you, my sisters, most of my family has been sent videos of the kid saying, "This is MJ's face."
I know when you said it to me, I'm like,
It's those
I'm like, is
cheeks.
that MJ?
Wow.
Right.
If
the
you told me
cheeks.
it was, I would have believed you.
Yeah. So you
But
can
if
see
you were
that
just
Radio
acting, doing
Roula.
I'm going to tell my
character.
kids this is MJ.
That's MJ.
For what's going down in H-Town on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
Texas Renaissance Festival founder George Colin was found dead yesterday morning in his home in Todd Mission. That's the little town that the Renaissance Festival is held
Oh, it is?
in.
I thought it was Plantersville. Is that what you're driving through to
they
get there?
incorporated their own little town, and he became the mayor of that town
okay.
for
I never heard of this guy
all the way
until
since
the
1982.
HBO thing
So the
last
Ren
year.
Fair.
Ren Fair, the documentary.
Yeah.
Kev, did you know him before? Years?
I have never met him. You know, he kind of pulled back from being the on-site king and turned it over to the guy who's doing it now. And it's been many, many years since anyone has seen him. The only people who really saw him were the people who've worked very, very close to them. He turned into more of the CEO, and he had his own, you could call it a compound. I mean, it was a very
really was.
eclectic house that he lived in on many, many, many acres.
And Kevin, can we clarify to the text that you got?
Yes.
It's not the king that visits us.
No.
That passed away. It's not the man who says huzzah in the TV commercials.
No.
This is the man who ran the overall
He started it. He
owned-
founded it over 50
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
And how old was he?
So George is the one who passed. Greg is the guy who's doing the actual kingdom.
So he was recently ordered to sell it off. If you watch the documentary, you can see why. And he and his company must also pay more than $23 million in damages to cover losses by the buyer during the dispute, including attorney's fees. And,
yeah, so well, he agreed to sell it, and then just like in Ren Fair, the program, you
Backs
realize
out.
he backs out of these because he changes his mind. Well, you know, as it's sometimes when you get deep into a sales contract, you can't back out anymore.
Start signing stuff.
Yeah, once you start signing stuff, so they took him to court. They won. They won the sale of it, and then also on top of that, unfortunately, he lost his position as mayor. So those two things probably hurt him, you know, deeply.
I would
And
And if you're older.
yeah, and he's no longer.
He was
with us.
87.
So the Renaissance Festival has been there for over 50 years now. So he
will
made quite an
continue.
impact.
Yep, we'll be there another 50.
You can make your own judgments, you know, as if you watch Ren Fair. But he's definitely made an impact, and I love the Renaissance Festival and keep on going.
All right, that's what's going down.
Huzzah. All right, coming up next, and maybe you might win some money. That's something to say about that. Okay, we'll be back on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. KRV.